bed here. Look what we got, guys. Another food stream, guys. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so thought I'd do one so you can see. Got a Coke as well. The ever trusty Coke. Let's start. That's one done. That's two. Wow. Hope you've all been having a good day so far, wherever you are. Uploaded a few videos in the last few days, so it's always pretty good. How can I do forgive me? I've managed to get 6 ARs obsidian, so I've done the Kilo, done the FAL, done the Odin, done the AK, that was fucking ages ago, done the Ram, and I've done the Graw. I'm just working on the AMAX and the Scar H, or the Scar 17, whatever you want to call it. I'm also doing the A94. I'm doing the A94. I promised I'd do that. And I am doing the M13 as well. I think the A94 has 55 games done on it, and the M13 has like 78 or some shit. Scar's at like 105 or 104. And I think the AMAX is at like 80, 79, 78. So it's... I'm getting there. It's just going to take me a while. But SMGs are practically nearly done. I've done the ISO. Oh, sorry, I've done the Fennec. I've done the Striker. I've done the Bison. I've done the Uzi. Done the MP5. I've done the P9. I've done the AUG. I just got to do the sorry about that. I just got to do the MP7 and the ISO, which I'm not going to be doing because the MP7's just way too easy to use and it's boring as fuck. And the ISO's dog shit. So I'm probably not going to get all the SMGs obsidian. Same with the ARs. Like, I don't enjoy using the Vol because it's just way too easy to use, and it's just like I verse this gun like a lot, and it's just frustrating. It's just an M13 with better handling, but the magazine and recoil's shittier, but your fire rate is the same, but your damage is 40% higher. So like you're killing 3 bullets instead of 5, but yet your gun has the same rate of fire as an M13. So it just makes no fucking sense. I'm sorry guys for swearing, but yeah, it's just a frustration among so many things in this game, but you know, that's just how it goes, I guess. So, I only have to do, if I do decide to get all those ARs done, like I said, I only have to do the M4, which I'm not going to be doing because it's way too easy to use. And it's boring. And the FAMAS is just... The FAMAS isn't a shit gun, it's just so inconsistent. Like, I don't like it when people say the FAMAS, oh, it's secretly overpowered, it's so good, it's this and that. It's not a shit gun, but I don't like it when people call it shit either. I don't like it when people like praise it and hate it. It's just sort of like a gun that can be good, but it's just so inconsistent and makes no sense. Like sometimes you'll get a burst straight on target and you won't get a single kill, and then other times you'll one burst people halfway across the map. It's just so inconsistent. Now I understand they don't want to buff it because if they buff it, it'll be way too strong. It's a 3 to 5 hit kill, so 3 to 4 hit kills. So if they buff it, it'll just be way too good. I still think the FAMAS is good fun to use every once in a while, but I don't think it's a good gun. LMGs, I've done like half of them. I've done the SA87 or the SA80, whatever you want to call it, or the L85A2 or some shit. I've done the PKM. Funny enough, I actually have a higher KD, and obviously I'm going to have more accuracy on the S87 because it's got a smaller mag and slower rate of fire and better recoil control, so I'm not spamming as many shots, so that's why the accuracy is higher. But the PKM headshots are just so fucking strong in this game. It's a 2-hit kill at any range, so like that's why the headshots are really high. It's like 701. My KD on this gun was 2 for a while, and then it just sort of went down. Don't know why. KD on this gun's fucking good, 2.19. I don't use the SA87. It's not a shit gun. It's just there's just so many better alternatives that just do the job far better. For me, the S87, it feels like a SCAR that has a 30 round mag for free, and its recoil control's a bit better, but its handling is shittier, its reloads are slower, and it has just some of the worst iron sights in the game. And its like I said, its handling and iron sights they're just horrible. And I'm pretty sure there's no trigger delay on the S87, but like the gun is just not good, and it never will be, no matter how many buffs they give it. Same goes with the M91. To all those people who think the M91 is a good LMG, I don't know what world you're living in, but you're just, if you actively use the M91 and you think it's a good gun, you're living in a fucking dream world, because okay, I will admit the M91 is definitely cooler looking and it sounds more cool, and I will admit if the PKM was not in the game, the M91 and the Fin would probably be the best LMGs. But the M91, it's just a PKM with no 2-shot headshot at long range, shittier iron sights, a longer trigger delay, a slower rate of fire, less range. What else? Smaller capacity. You can't have 200 rounds. You can only have 100 or 120 or 150. Yeah, like I said, shittier iron sights, longer trigger delay, slower reloads, no option for snatch grip, and the only upside on the M91 is you get a 120 round belt if you choose to use that. It's got a better sprint out time, and it has better recoil control, and that's only because it's shooting slower. The M91 this is easily, like, if I had like a top 5 guns that were my least favourite to use, easily the M91 is top 5, 100%. Like, the MG34 has slower handling than the M91, a smaller capacity, and takes even longer to reload, but yet the MG34 is good because it has almost no recoil and it shoots way faster. So at least the MG34, even though it's got like 100 downsides, those 2 or 3 upsides they're worth it, because the gun just kills so unbelievably fast that it's got like no recoil, it kills you in 3 or 4 bullets at any range. It kills you so unbelievably fast that there's actually a reason to use the MG34, whereas there isn't a reason to use the M91. There's just no reason to use it. There's just no compelling reason to just equip it. If you're doing it for fun, or just because you want to try something else out, like, fair enough, fair play, I would do the same, but like, it's just dog shit. That's why I only have 686 kills of it. And that's why I have over 3,000, or at least over 1,000 kills with every other LMG. Because the gun's just not fun. It's just not. Same with the Fin. The Fin is basically, I'm talking the standard version, I'm not talking like the one with the increased rate of fire. The Fin is basically the M91 with no option for a close quarter stock, no option for the stippled grip. It has smaller magazines, and it shoots a bit slower. And its range and damage is, it has about the same damage. It has the same damage as the M91, but the range is reduced. But you got less of a trigger delay, faster reloads, and lower recoil. So in my eyes, the Fin is... I'm talking the stock version, the one with the slow rate of fire. That version of the Fin is absolute shit. It's good on Warzone, I will admit. The low recoil Fin with the slow rate of fire is extremely good on Warzone because you get practically zero fucking kick. But the Fin is only good if you use the high rate of fire mod, because it does lower your damage, and it does give you technically slower bullets and more recoil and less range, but the rate of fire and the time to kill is just so unbelievably fucking fast. I think only the MG34 and the PKM in certain situations actually kill faster, because it's shooting at like 1,000 rounds per minute and kills in like 4 to 5 bullets at like all ranges. That's the only time the Fin is actually even decent. And that's basically how I kit my Fin, because I feel far more confident with the Fin, even though the PKM is technically better. Like, I'm talking like, if you use the high rate of fire Fin and the PKM will feel better, because it's got like lower recoil, bigger mags, better damage, but the Fin shoots just unbelievably way faster and just handles a bit faster. So it's sort of like, do you want a faster kill time with better handling, or do you want like lower recoil and better per shot damage and all that shit? Yeah, so I've nearly got the Fin Obsidian. I've got like, I think it's 75 games or some shit done on it, so I've nearly done that. I've done the Bruin, did the Bruin fucking ages ago. The Bruin is it's basically a PKM, but with reduced damage, and you don't have a snatch grip, but you do get the skeleton stock and the 60 round mags. That's basically what the Bruin is. It's just a PKM with reduced damage and shittier iron sights and a longer trigger delay, but the recoil is... There's practically zero kick on this gun. This is easily the most controllable LMG. Easily, 100% the most controllable LMG. There's almost no kick with this gun. Especially if you use the 200 round mag in Warzone with like sleight of hand and you just spray cunts, it's fucking good. Oh yeah, it's really good. Boy, hey. This thing just does the job so well. That's why I have a very high KD on it. Like, even when I use I was using the 60 round mag for most of my time on the Bruin, even after it got nerfed. Personally, I don't know why they nerfed it from a 4-hit kill to a 3-hit kill. I was perfectly fine with it being a 3-hit kill, because I mean, like, the PKM... I suppose technically the PKM standard handling is faster, but the Bruin can have faster handling. But the PKM does the same amount of damage and shoots. Has the same rate of fire, but does more damage. So the Bruin was only good out of range where you were engaging in that 3-hit kill area, because it was a 5-hit kill at a distance and the PKM is 4. But you almost never need 4 with a PKM. Whereas you will need 4 with the Bruin. And they both have the same rate of fire. And the PKM is... It's got cleaner iron sights, it's got less of a trigger delay. So it's just easier to use. It's just a lot easier to use. But I suppose, on the other hand, you know, getting free-shotted by a gun that can have kilo level handling in an LMG platform with 60 rounds, because when you upsize on the kilo to 60 rounds, its handling's dog shit. But if you do the same thing on the Bruin, the only disadvantage you're getting compared to the kilo is your, I suppose, you know, you got a trigger delay and shitty iron sights. You're not getting the exact kilo setup, but like, who cares? Like, the Bruin is good because there's just so many ways you can just use it, and there's just really no huge downside to it. I'm trying to get the Holger done as well. I found there's only 2 good ways to use this gun. You can't use it like an AR. It's either an LMG with 100 rounds, or it's an SMG with 100 rounds. Like, don't ever use the 30 round mag, like the one that makes your handling better. Don't ever use that, because if you use that, your firepower is just going to be absolutely horrible. The whole point of the Holger is quick reloads with the 100 round mag. If you're not using that, don't even bother touching the Holger, because the Holger is just... They've buffed it so many fucking times, but it's just not a good gun, because its range is better than most of the ARs that shoot at 750 or 769 rounds per minute, but the Holger's just not controllable. It's got a trigger delay, as all LMGs should. Aim walking movement speed's way too slow. And the iron sights are shit. And the hip fire's not that good. However, I found that if you were using no stock, the shortest barrel, the Merc foregrip, a reflex sight or a monolithic suppressor, and the 5mm laser, you can use it like an SMG. Because with the Kilo, you can have 100 rounds in that gun, but you can't have a shorter barrel, and that upsize actually slows your handling. So what I do on the Holger is I have the 100 round mag for free, so it doesn't take up an attachment slot. You put the Merc foregrip for the better hip fire and slightly reduced recoil. Then you put the 5mm laser, so you get even better hip fire and a better sprint to fire time. Then you put no stock, so you get great movement speed and great ADS time. Then you put the shortest barrel, so it's basically like no stock but on the barrel. So you get even more movement speed and an even faster ADS time. And the recoil control is going to be pretty bad. However, you get 100 rounds and the Merc foregrip reduces some of that. And then you can either put on a compensator or a monolithic suppressor or a sight or another stippled grip. And the sprint to fire time and movement speed and aim time is just so unbelievably fast. You get 100 round mags, and no other gun can compete with this gun when it comes to like mobile suppressive fire. Like, if you use it like that, the Holger is so much fucking fun. Using it like a fucking SMG with the short barrel and the no stock, it's just so much fun. And just hip firing people with the 5mm and the Merc foregrip, it just works wonders and just does the job. LMGs are easily the most versatile and balanced category of weapons. Like, if you're just comparing all of them to one another, all of them, like, I'd say there's only two that are not viable, and that's the SA-87 and the M91. These two are the only ones that aren't viable. PCAM's a good all-rounder. MG34 is just a bullet hose that shreds cunts. Holger's just a very... it's got a lot of recoil, I suppose, and it's a bit slow still. And it doesn't kill as fast as like the PKM or the MG34 or the Fin. It doesn't quite have the handling of the Bruin, but it's just, if you can use it like an SMG, it's great fun. And you know, with a shorter barrel and no stock, like I mentioned, and it's got quicker reloads than all of them, so I suppose it still has a place in the game. It's very good fun. Fin, you know, you shred cunts with the fast rate of fire mod, and the Bruin just has like no kick at all. Marksman rifles, I'm not going to talk about them too much. Crossbow, I'm not getting this Damascus, I don't care, I'm not doing it. SPR, I might do it at some point. I've just been trying to get the ARs and LMGs Obsidian, so I haven't been really using the SPR. I've done the EBR. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with me here, but I think the SKS is just... It's just far better than the EBR. I'm sorry if you disagree with that, but... The SKS has lower recoil, a slightly faster rate of fire, less recoil and bigger magazines, less idle sway, and can move faster with no stock in the shorter barrel and the 10 round mag. It's not that that matters, I suppose, but DBR in theory aims faster and doesn't compromise accuracy, has a better 2-shot kill range, it's always a 1-shot headshot, and reloads faster, and the bullets are faster. But for me, the SKS is just, it's just better because of the bigger magazine, and it's better because its rate of fire is just higher. Oh, and its aim time is faster on the stock version, although with the way you would kit it, it's technically slower. But the SKS is just miles in front of the EBR. If you're playing Ground War though, the EBR is better because it's almost always a 2-hit kill. But if you're playing Warzone, or you're playing multiplayer, the SKS is better. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, so the EBR is better for Ground War, but it's not as good as on Warzone, because on Warzone, the magazine can only go up to 20, SKS can go up to 30, and on the SKS you can use the rifle stock, which removes all the idle sway, which actually makes a difference when you're shooting someone at long range. It's better to tag him with a bullet that's going to deal slightly less damage and can be easily directed than a gun that can deal more damage but can't direct that fucking level of damage, if that makes sense. That's why everyone uses... Say, if you get an AK in this game, and you compare that to a kilo, say you land 3 hits with an AK, and 5 with a kilo, those 5 with the kilo are going to be far more damaging than those 3 with the AK, because even though the damage is less on the kilo, because you've landed more hits, you're effectively dealing more damage. So if your AK does 40 per shot, so that's 120, and the kilo does 30, but you've hit 5, that's 150. So you've just done 30 more damage, so that makes a difference. It's just all the difference, and that's one of the reasons why the EBR is just not good, because it can't direct that damage accurately like the SKS can. The SKS's recoil is just almost non-existent. Snipers, I haven't been using them much. Handguns, I only really use 2. I'm starting to use M19s again, with just a single M19 with a 17 round mag. For a long time I was using the Burstfire Renetti and Akimbo X16s. They were what I was using. Akimbo X16s is just, they're really strong. And the Burstfire Renetti. I don't use the Magnums because it's dog shit, and if you snake shot you're just cheesing on guns so unbelievably hard. M1911's crap. And the Deagle, it's good fun, but it's not something I would use, so I don't really bother using it. So I've just been trying to get all these guns done. What's my field upgrades at? Dead Silence is at 20,000 uses now. Stopping Power's at... Yeah, I only use Stopping Power and Dead Silence. I don't use anything else, because everything else is either situational or... it's only good in team modes, but these two I play a lot of free-for-all, so it just makes sense for me to use them. Game modes, Ground War, that's my KD, 2.31, 18,000 kills. Free-for-all's 77,000 kills. I think I'm number 1 in Oceania for hours played and total kills and win streak and win rate and wins on free-for-all. I don't know if I have the highest KD or score per minute, but I know I have the most wins and the most kills on free-for-all, and the highest win streak. I think I checked, and I think I'm like 2nd or 3rd in Australia for win streak. I'm at 90, I think it was 90 or 99. It was one of those, in the 90 range. So, but you know, free-for-all's so unbelievably easy to play if you can get used to it. It's super easy to play, but yet no one plays it just because there's just not enough players in it, and you come across a lot of fucking sweaty players, I guess, and, you know, a lot of people don't like me, so they don't want to verse me, so they just don't fucking queue in for free-for-all, because they're just worried they're going to verse me. I'm not fucking being an egomaniac here, but I swear I do get a lot of shit when I play free-for-all. Not as much now, but at the fucking time, when I was at like the 50,000 kill mark, I'd say 30,000 to 50,000 kill mark, I would get shit so much. I'd get fucking treated so badly. I don't use anything here, really. I just use stims, and occasionally I might use... where's the smoke grenades? Yeah. Occasionally I might use them or smoke grenades. If I'm playing Plunder, I will use snapshots and smokes. and I might use the heartbeat sensor in Warzone, but if I'm playing multiplayer, it's pretty much just stims. Lethals, I used to use C4 a lot, but now I use only proximity mines because using C4 in combat when you're having a gunfight, it's sort of like you're BMing people when you're not actually having the firefight. Throwing knives just make no sense. Semtexes are just, they're just brain dead. Molotovs, they're not shit, they're just very situational. Thermites are actually really good, but they just require way too much timing and effort to use. Frags are really good in this game, but yeah, if I could only pick 3, I'd only use thermites. Thermites, frags, and fucking proxy mines would be the only ones I use. I used to use claymores a lot when I first started playing, but I just felt bad for using them. So after 246 kills, I basically stopped using them. Proxy mines are basically the only thing I use in this game. I've got nearly 3,000 kills of them and just over 20,000 uses, so I think my kill rate for this is like fucking, oh dude, very high. It's like almost 20%. Like 1 in 5 mines I place kills someone, so, or at the very least it hits someone and gives away their position, and then I can just push them and kill them. So that's why I love these proxy mines. And I don't like it when people say the proximity mines are overpowered. Like, you don't even have to have EOD, so as long as you crouch, you don't die. Or if you go prone, you won't die. And they are easy to see, and they make a lot of noise when they go up. And it even gives you an indicator when it goes off, so there's like no excuse. And they deal less damage at close range. You get hit by a proxy mine, or you crouch, it's like half the damage of a fucking claymore. And claymores are easier to hide, harder to avoid. They make less noise when you place them. Claymores just make a thud, and the mines just make like a loud slap. Like, it's easier to hear mines than it is to hear claymores. The only 2 advantages mines have: you can toss them very far. So if you're the person that likes to defend positions but likes to move from one position to another and likes to lock down lanes of sight without having to actually go there and lock it down with the claymores, and you like to just throw it and leave and lock down an area, the proxy mines are better if you like to move a lot but defend a certain location for a certain period of time. Whereas claymores are better for locking down a spot and you're in that spot. So if you're locking down a line of sight and you're locking a line of sight that's right behind you, then like a doorway, it's better. But proximity mines are better for when you're locking down open spaces. And if you put these near cars and barrels, it's guaranteed. It's almost guaranteed to one-shot them. Like, there's just no situation where you can get away and survive. Anyway, guys, I've practically finished my Weetbix. Sorry for rambling on about the gun stats and whatnot in Modern Warfare, but I just wanted to talk about something. I figured I'd fucking do a food stream. I woke up early this morning and I figured I'd do a quick live stream, so nothing too special there. I'll get going, guys, and I'll catch you all later. Thanks for watching.